Welcome to this Taoist meditation session. The meditations I'm going to be presenting come from Taoism. You might be wondering why I'm talking about all sorts of things before doing the meditation. It is to give you a context and understanding why you're doing it so it can have a much better effect for you. Just sit straight, breathe, let your mind get quiet, go on to the meditation. Well, thank you again and for coming back. And I hope the COVID virus is not affecting you too badly. At least from listening to all the news, it seems to be, though, that a lot of people are taking it well, but a lot of people, this being sequestered is starting to break them down a bit. And so I think these four qualities are going to be particularly helpful in getting you through the night, as it were. Now, the four qualities of a blockage, of an energetic blockage, which you are going to try and dissolve, just as you would try and dissolve anything that is making life a pain in the butt, whatever it happens to be, which can be light, which can just be minor aggravation, which can also be taking you right to the edge of a psychotic break. All of these are symptoms of blockages, starting with little ones and getting to rather big ones that are composed of many, many tiny little blockages within the big one. Hopefully, this coronavirus stuff is going to be over soon. At least we won't have to be sequestered. But keep in mind that everything that's been talked about in this series, these are problems the average human being in America and Europe has all the time. Now, we're moving now more toward what I would call not meditation light, but moving toward meditation serious. In the sense of that, at one level, the first level of meditation is to enable a person to have a calm and steady mind. You know, why is it good to have a calm and steady mind? I don't know. Just watch someone who's going hysterical, is going crazy and bashing someone's head against the wall, is walking out in the middle of the street naked, screaming whatever they're screaming. And you could see that these are things that are not a very calm and steady mind. And then we are also in an age where the stress of the digital world is making people's minds just really be on edge. And so meditation is one way of reducing or eliminating this. But then as it starts going a lot farther, some people also have an interest in really feeling as though their mind is completely their own. And it's not being dominated by media, and it's not being dominated by external circumstances. For example, as you get far enough in meditation, you don't need any reason to be happy. You can turn happiness on like you can a light switch, or turn it off, or turn it like a dimmer switch in any direction, because sometimes, being too happy can make a person get manic. Not having any happiness in them is a doorway to depression, and none of these things which you need, but it's making the mind very clear and very pristine. Anyone in their life who has met people who have had a very calm and stable mind usually finds them to be worthy of some sort of appreciation, if not praise. And this was supposed to be the classic thing that a professor had. Although, I think that was in a time before this one, because not that many professors these days have really calm and steady mind. But that was the basis of what the old Greek philosophers were supposed to have, and many, many other educated people. So anybody can do this. You don't have to study, these long, thick treatises or think for how many thousands of hours about issues related to the human condition to be able to have a calm, steady mind. You can actually just go direct for the calm, steady mind. And that's what these two blockages are aiming more toward. So we said already in the last time, what was the blockage of strength? What was the blockage of tension? So we're going to let those go. They'll come back later, but we'll let them go for the moment. Now we're going to look at the other two big ones. Something doesn't feel quite right. It's off. It's messed up. It gives you an edge. But you don't know why. You don't have the faintest clue of what's the reason behind it. Everybody at some time in their life has walked into a room and all of a sudden watched their hair go on end, as though there's electricity inside them. But you don't know why. You don't know if there's a big Tesla coil in the room, or it's just, this is very common to have happen in places that are totally isolated, like walking into a small cave on some mountain, or in a weird forest clearing or something. We don't know what is making us go on edge. We don't know what is disturbing our mind, but it's damn clear to us our mind is being disturbed. It's very clear to us that we're afraid of something, but we don't know what it is. It's very clear when we see something, we have some sort of giant apprehension, and we find out later, oh, I'm sorry, you're living in New York, but that person was in Portugal until 6 hours ago, and they've never been to America. What's causing this? Well, in the East, they think there's a subject called karma. And a lot of the times, what happens is that this person, dog, cat, rock, picture, whatever it is activating your karma. It's projecting something that drags your mind back to a situation you and this person or object were in that was pretty bad. Maybe you killed them, they killed you, maybe you bit them, maybe they bit you, maybe you tortured them, maybe they tortured you, maybe they were the parent from hell, maybe you were the parent from hell, who knows what. And if it is, it's sequestered deep in the unconscious mind where you can't get to it. But you want to be able, if you recognize it, as a phrase was common when I was a kid, something's rotten in Egypt. This was somebody in Rome or somebody in London. Oh, I get this funny thing that seems like a smell coming from Egypt. Of course, Egypt was like thousands of miles away. But something, you were getting a psychic whiff. Or else, just what is inside you, the memory of that is being awakened. And the way these things very commonly work is that from being buried so deep inside you, once you somehow recognize this, something has happened, like something stirring in the depths, where this stuff is going to rise up until eventually it's going to enter your conscious mind, either as thoughts and feelings or as situations where you cannot figure out anyway how the hell this thing is coming about, or events in the world start happening that you can't figure out where they're coming from, but they're doing something to you. They're either signaling the great stuff in your life is going to happen. But when it doesn't feel quite right, as the phrase goes, the shit is rolling downhill and it's coming toward you. But you may not know what it is. So when you get this sort of a blockage, it's good to dissolve it. So you sit and you start dissolving as best you can. You start becoming aware, you start becoming aware of, as you slowly go down your body, when you hit a blockage. And then you may not know specifically if it's strength or tension, but just for tonight, let's just go for something that doesn't feel quite right, depending if you don't know what it is. In other words, the ghosts in your bargain basement. And this is something that happens to people very commonly in the world. They just walk in front of someone and what comes up inside of them, not knowing where it's coming from, not seeming to have any source, to use the common colloquial phrase used in many, many of the modern TV shows, oh shit. All you know is something's coming to get you, or something is going to throw you off balance, or you're starting to feel wobbly at the moment. So, something's not quite right. That means you can't define it. You don't know exactly what it is, but you know it's not right. And the more it's especially that you don't get any idea of what it is, this is the signal of a blockage. And in some way, shape, manner, or form, this is somewhat indicating that the karmic winds are getting ready to blow on you, and not usually to your best advantage. So now the next one is that, okay, now you have the next thing. Contraction. What can contract inside you? And usually, unless you've really got a big one going, you're not going to feel your body contracting like if you were lifting a big weight and you feel your muscles contract. But you're going to feel things are closing in on you. I'm in this room right now. It's big and open and everything. I don't particularly notice the air because it's part of normal life and I don't have any particular reason to notice. But if someone were to have some sort of big, giant air machine and they could control the air in this building, I don't know what this is. Maybe it's 20 or 30 psi, pounds per square inch. But they could increase this to thousands of pounds a square inch. And what you would watch me do is go till I became something so small. Because the space between everything would be squeezed out. That's a contraction. When you are a very, very, very intelligent person, and you're trying to figure out the solution to something, and all of a sudden your mind starts going, and you just can't really think. Here it was, you could do these big giant formulas. You're a master of the universe of Wall Street, and you got to make a decision. You got to know, and all of a sudden something as simple as 50 plus 75 is how much. Your mind gets crushed until you can't come up with any answer. Where before your mind got contracted, you go 125, you don't think about it. But when this happens, it's like all of a sudden it's your mind turns to jelly, but it turns to jelly because of contraction. Or you did something that was kind of nasty to somebody. But when your mind starts really contracting, you not only feel the pain you gave them, you start feeling like it's 100 times the pain you gave them. Yeah. Guilt is a contraction. Well, it depends how strong it is. So you have a contraction. And it doesn't matter if you experience it physically, energetically, something about your energy that's condensing that you don't know what it is, but boy, is it there. So again, contraction. So we're going to start, and anytime you get a severe stress reaction, guarantee you contraction's there. You get a fear reaction, guarantee you contraction is there. Lethargy. You can't take action. You can't do anything. You are the most able to do everything in the world, but when your mind and energy starts contracting, you can't do anything. You can't get out of a chair. So let's just now look at and try and dissolve the blockages of strength, which we did the last time. If it comes up, dissolve it. Tension, if it comes up, dissolve it. But really focus on something that doesn't feel quite right, especially if you don't know what it is, or any type of contraction. So sit, try and sit straight if you can. Let your body go as loose and comfortable and relaxed as you can. And then starting from the top of your head, start dissolving. any sense of strength or tension, something that doesn't feel quite right, especially if you don't know what it is, or any sort of contraction, physical, mental, emotional, psychic, karmic, essence. I mean, if you find anything, even if you have no idea what it is, but those four qualities, something that's like those four qualities, either one of them or many of them together, come up, just reckon you got a blockage. So dissolving downhill, when you arrive at your first blockage, let your mind sit on it like a hen until your mind has possessed that blockage, is entering it, is linking to it, is making a complete communication with it, or at least as complete a communication as you're able. And then start dissolving. Ice to water. Water to gas. Water to inner space. Let your breath be even and smooth. Ice to water. Water to inner space. Now, everybody has intent. Everybody has awareness. Regardless of how you try and define it, which some traditions will go on for God knows how long trying to define it. But any form of awareness, if you can recognize the blockage, dissolve it. Use your intent, use your mind. Even if you don't get it perfect, do a little bit. Or if you can keep on penetrating and releasing deeper and deeper in the inner space, do that. Or if it's an ailment that is particularly connected to your physical body, but not your emotional, mental, psychic, karmic essence, then instead of to inner space, do it to outer space, do it to your skin, and then the layers just outside your body until you reach the boundary of your emotional body, and then let it go. Now, outer pain can cause inner aggravation, and inner aggravation can manifest as outer pain in your body. But at least for this, really water to inner space. If there's anybody inside your house or apartment or whatever, or even if you're just talking with your boss or somebody over the phone, and they've got you ready to start chewing your tongue, or anyway, you're pissed off, or something has happened in the outside world, something truly horrible. During this COVID crisis, a lot of people's grandmas and grandpas have died. So maybe that comes into your awareness. Focus on that when you look at these blockages and dissolve that, whatever it is that's attached to your experience of grandma or grandpa dying. Because it could be anything. It could be anger, it could be fear, it could be denial, it could be sadness, it could be greed, it could be... When people die, it provokes a lot of emotions in people. You know, some people go like it was in the Wizard of Oz. Ding dong, the wicked witch, hey oh hi, the wicked witch. Ding dong, the wicked witch is dead. So maybe that is really how you felt about the person who died. Dissolve that poison of anger toward them. If in this virus, you lost most of your money, which is going to happen to a lot of people, dissolve that sense of the loss of your labor, your effort, your dreams, your hopes. Let it dissolve, because it's not going to come back if it's truly gone. If it's half gone, you can build it up. If it's all gone, you got to start all over again. And that can be very difficult the older you get. So just dissolve and let it go. Ice to water, water to space. But those are, for want of a better term, I saw a TV program, and I guess this must be very Christian or something, but you know, there's the light and the dark. Dark is the devil and hell, light is the angels and whatever. It's a lot of ways of looking at it, especially if you read the Bible carefully. The angels were primarily the hitmen of God. Just like the mafia has muscle hitmen. Well, you know, when God got pissed off, he sent the angels to go kill people. But on the other side, the whole thing has come up about how they bring God's light and all this beneficence and language to the peoples of the earth. So it's the mind goes both ways on this. But if you want to solve the good and the bad fortune until you go very even. Because if everything is going to return to you after this virus, it's going to return. And if everything is not going to return to you after this virus, all it's going to do by you being so angry and wanting to tear the person apart or the system apart you think caused your great loss, if the stuff is gone, it's not going to come back. There's no reason for you to torture yourself about it. It's bad enough you lost whatever you lost. It's bad enough you lost a child. It's worse if you're losing yourself. Because if your child is dead or damaged or hurt, well, that is what happened. And to the best of my knowledge, few people come back. But there's also the way you are being affected by this. So when you go ice to water, to inner space, to emptiness, that makes you free of some of that. And that means you have more of your life being free inside than more of your life being a prisoner inside. So that's all, it's a simple thing. So ice to water, water to inner space. Well, that'll be the end of tonight's meditation. And look, what this coronavirus is, nobody really knows. Even the scientists don't know exactly how it works. So, you know, I have a friend of mine who used to be a really top Chinese doctor, Qigong Tuina therapist. And one of the things about Qigong Tuina is that they can do these miraculous healings. And there are two ways it can be done. One way is you can do it so the problem will be over the soonest. And very often that is going to cause you so much pain while it's being done to you, you would scream. Not to mention you'll probably be telling the therapist you hope he's dropped in a vat of acid next week. The pain can be intense. But yet, at the end, what that's going to mean is that you're going to be through the problem. And what my friend always did, which I always thought was kind of cute, and I saw many other Qigong Tuina doctors who did it, is that the more a person started screaming, the more they started laughing. They took the qi they were absorbing into their body from that person, and they just used it to have a good old time and a good old laugh. Because some people would say, well, they should feel the pain they're causing this person. Why? So it's better two people are suffering than one? If you really look at that, that really doesn't make any sense. So try in this time to find a source. Find something inside you that will allow you to laugh at things that are miserable. Dissolve inside of you what is stopping you from laughing when things are getting miserable. Because just remember, you can scream with as much pain as you want, but I seriously doubt it's going to stop the sun from rising and falling. So although this is something a human ego will like to do, if you can have intelligence, why don't you just maybe choose not to hurt as much? Again, this meditation was brought to you by Leo Hongjian, my teacher, who was kind enough to pass on Taoist meditation to me. Thank you very much. And have a good couple of days. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you found this helpful. If you like this, go ahead and click subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.